If humanity can avoid nuclear holocaust in 21st century, then water is going to be most important issue to deal with. Participants, have you ever thought that what could possibly be reason for such a strong statement? Or how big is the problem of water scarcity locally, regionally and globally? How can water scarcity impact our future? How much time actually we have? And finally, what are the ways to solve this water problem? There could be so many similar questions, and to address such issues, we need to understand the importance of water for sustainable development. Water is at the core of sustainable development and is critical for socio-economic development, healthy ecosystems and human survival. It is vital to reduce the global burden of diseases and improve the population health, welfare and productivity. However, once humanity entered the 21st century, more people were without access to safe water and sanitation than ever before. Societies around the globe are facing a variety of different problems related to supply of drinking water. At present, 1/3 of the world population are living in countries facing moderate to severe water stress. The report of the Joint Monitoring Program of UNICEF points out that 89% of the global population have access to at least basic services of obtaining drinking water. 71% of the global population have access to safe source of drinking water. However, 7.5% of the global population have no access to even necessary drinking water facilities. Around 68% of the population have access to basic sanitation services. Nearly 39% of the people have access to safe sanitation services. Under Millennium Development Goals, substantial progress has been made in this direction, and the agenda of Sustainable Development Goals can be fulfilled by providing such access by 2030 to remaining population. Many factors are responsible for this unfortunate situation. However, the central issue is the population growth. Exponential population growth is solely responsible for the dramatic reduction in per capita water resources in recent decades. This struggle of ensuring supply to fulfill minimum human requirements is not new to humanity. In fact, all ancient human civilizations or societies have been shaped by the struggle to control water. It is not an exaggeration to say that our whole civilization is built around the use of water. However, over the time, the scale of requirement and usage drastically changed, and untamed exploitation and mismanagement of water resources become the norm of the day. For achieving sustainable development, it is important to move away from sectoral approach of water uses to a holistic one, which require capturing interconnections between food, energy, health, trade, and the environment. In this context, this lecture provides an overview of problems and the root causes and discuss the ways of sustainable use of water resources. In this regard, sustainable water management ensures present water requirements to be fulfilled without compromising future generations' water security. Ensuring the safe and reliable supply for current needs and future requires effective and holistic management of available water resources while addressing technical, environmental, economic, societal, cultural, and landscape aesthetic issues. Sustainability must focus on the factor that use water as a source for human development and well-being and monitor them to assure water quality and reliability. The United Nations General Assembly stated the water sustainability as a human right that is essential for full enjoyment of life and human to safe and clean drinking water and sanitation. It explicitly recognizes the human right to water and sanitation services and acknowledges that access to clean drinking water and sanitation is essential in realizing human rights. Further, it is declared that if each person can afford to access 20 to 50 liters of daily water required to sustain life, it will be considered water sustainable. Ensuring a universal supply of safe drinking water and access to sanitation facilities was a precondition to achieve success in Millennium Development Goals between 2000 and 2015. Subsequent, under the Sustainable Development Goals in 2015, several other aspects such as poverty, hunger, child death, gender inequality directly concerning the sustainable use of water resources were added. It further implies that an individual country's water sustainability is part and parcel to meet global Millennium Development Goals and Sustainable Development Goals. In 2015, United Nations Water Annual International Conference titled Water and Sustainable Development from Vision to Action discussed the implementation challenges related to four main themes, which include water, sanitation and hygiene, water resources management, water quality and risks. Among these four goals, goal number 6 aim to ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. This goal has several sub-goals or targets. Let's learn about these targets. First target is to achieve universal and equitable access to safe and affordable drinking water for all. Achieving access to adequate and equitable sanitation and hygiene for all and ending open defecation, paying special attention to the need of women and girls and those in vulnerable situation is the second target. Improving water quality by reducing pollution, eliminating dumping and minimizing the release of hazardous chemicals and metals, having the proportion of untreated wastewater and increasing recycling and safe reuse globally is another target. Substantially increase in water use efficiency across all sectors and ensure sustainable withdrawal and supply of fresh water to address water scarcity and substantially reduce the number of people suffering from water scarcity is the fourth target. Implementing integrated water resource management at all levels, including through transboundary cooperation as appropriate, would also be required. The last target is by 2020 protect and restore water related ecosystem including mountains, forests, wetlands, rivers, aquifers and lakes. Success in achieving these targets can be monitored by indicators. There are two indicators of Sustainable Development Goal number 6. Indicator 6A advocates by 2030 expand international cooperation and capacity building, support to developing countries in water and sanitation related activities and programs including water harvesting, desalination, improving water efficiency, wastewater treatment, recycling and reuse of technology. If we talk about indicator number 6, indicator number 6 focuses on support and strengthening the participation of local communities for improving water and sanitation management. Besides, water and sanitation targets are also included in other proposed goals, such as Target 3.3, which says that by 2030 end the epidemic of AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria and neglected tropical diseases and combat hepatitis, waterborne diseases and other communicable diseases. Target number 3.9 stated that by 2030 substantially reduce the number of deaths and illness from hazardous chemicals and air, water and soil pollution and contaminations. Target number 11.5 with focus on disaster management mentions that by 2030 significantly reduce the number of the death and the number of affected people and decrease the economic losses relatively to GDP caused by disaster, including water related disasters, with the focus on protecting the poor and people in vulnerable situations. Target 12.4 dictate that by 2020 achieve environmentally sound management of chemicals and waste through their life cycle in accordance with agreed international framework and significantly reduce their release to air, water, soil to minimize their adverse impact on human health and environment. Target 15.1 advocates for ensuring conservation, restoration and sustainable use of terrestrial and inland freshwater ecosystems and their services, in particular forest, wetlands, mountains and drylands, in line with obligation under international agreements by 2020. Target 15.8 suggested introducing measures to prevent introduction and significantly reduce the impact of invasive alien species on land and water ecosystems and control or eradicate the priority species by 2020.